Hello friends, it's me Vivian from ThePaperLetterBlog, also known as the Chatty Penpal channel, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I make all three of these projects for a Penpal mail. Now mine will be made out of vintage paper and they will be in a coherent or cohesive, I don't know, kind of like a vintage botanical style. But the good part about this is you can make it in any style you want. If you have the supplies I do, use those. If you have other supplies, use those. It's all good. You don't really need a lot, is what I'm trying to say. So for the first project, we are going to start with a single page. You could use vintage paper like me, but like I said, use whatever you have or whatever you want to use. And all you have to do is fold it in half. If you want to make a smaller project, obviously use a smaller piece of paper and fold over one corner. And that's it. And then to turn it into a pocket, we're going to glue the bottom and the sides. You could use, like I'm using here, some double-sided tape, or you could use regular glue, which is what I would normally do, or you could use washi tape, or I don't know, you could even staple it together if you wanted to. So that's the base of the first project, and then I'm gonna, like I said, decorate it in a vintage botanical style. I'm gonna fill it with goodies, and then we're gonna move on to the next project. While you're watching me assemble this and mess it up and cut it apart again, or not cut it apart, but cut off the sides, let me tell you a couple little things. First of all, I'm at my parents' house, so if you hear a weird echo or if you hear my dad, because they're probably wondering who I'm talking to, they might interrupt me at some point. So if you hear anything weird, that's because I'm at my parents'. I did bring my old microphone because I didn't want to bring the bulky microphone that I normally use nowadays, but so the sound quality is going to be a little bit less, but it should still be fine. So that is the first piece of information. The second piece of information that I want to give you is about this mail, because I, of course it is a Penpal mail, but I actually made mine for a swap we did last year. I do swaps with my patrons every now and then. For those of you who don't know, swaps are basically one-time mail exchanges. You sign up, you get assigned a random partner, and another random person gets you assigned to send mail to, and then you send them mail. And I host these swaps through my Patreon page. I don't actually remember what the objectives of this swap were, but I do remember that it was sender's choice. Do I remember what this swap was about? I do not. It's more than a year ago. But I decided to make 3 projects, and I don't really know why. I think I didn't know at this point when I started that I was gonna make 3 projects. I just knew that I had to start somewhere, and that's what I did with this. As you can see, I found that beautiful vintage pine cone illustration. It is a little wintry for a video I'm uploading in summer, but like I said, you can make this in any style you like. And I think pine cones, I don't know, they're a little fall and wintry, but you know, you could find them in summer, I guess. So yeah, that's the important part. So we're making a pocket. I'm making a little matchbook later, and I'm also making a flipbook folder something. So what you saw just now is basically my decorating process. I just grab whatever I like, and then I see if I can turn it into a cohesive whole, into something nice. And usually this takes me very long, which I don't always show on camera because people seem to assume that I find it super easy, but I am slow, like most of us crafters, which is why I don't send out that much mail. But this time it actually came together pretty fast. Like, I found a centerpiece, which is that big illustration with the pine cones, and then I found little pieces that I thought went nicely with it, and it just all seemed to come together in a nice flow, which is my favorite type of crafting. But sometimes it takes me much longer, and it can take me multiple days, and sometimes I will just have a certain view of how I want things to look, and then everything looks completely different in the end. So, by the way, the illustrations that I'm using for this particular project are all from old books. I think they're considered vintage. So I just cut them out of the books. Don't tell the librarians. I cut them out of the books that I buy in thrift stores and stuff, and then I tried to cut them out as carefully as possible. I don't know. I added in a couple of more vintage book pages with like pine cone. I'm realizing now all of my goodies are in a pine cone theme. How cool. Seem to have done that quite nicely. Curated a nice package. So I added a bunch of pages with pine cones again, and I found a sticker sheet with pine cones, and then I added in some more vintage book pages to create kind of a nice package, I suppose. I do like sending book pages as gifts, and these are magazine pages, also very old. I do like that, but I don't do that often enough while I have so many. But I never really know if people would be happy to receive those. Some of us, like me, I have so many books. I do appreciate it when people send me vintage book pages, but it is going on an ever-growing pile of book pages, of course with the exception of book pages that have a beautiful font or have beautiful illustrations. I never know if I make someone else happy with it as well, but I should. I mean, I think everyone could use book pages one way or another. The next thing I'm doing is I'm creating that folder that I mentioned. I grabbed a large encyclopedia page. I tore off a little part with a ruler to create a torn paper look. And then I folded into threes. As you can see, I'm doing this completely intuitively, like not measuring or anything. And then I folded over the bottom to create 3 pockets, and I tore one of the pages on a diagonal to create one diagonal page. I don't know, to create a front flap. I think I saw this in a tutorial, or I think I did this for a swap once before where we all followed the same tutorial, but I do not recall who the tutorial was by, but it's a very, as you can see, it's a very simple and easy way to create a project base. And what I love about this as well is that you do not need to measure anything. You can just go by side, go by feel, go by, you know, if you have a letter that you want to fit in there, you can even make your project match those sizes. I don't know, I'm a little tired. I think that's great. If I sound a little hushed, it's because I always find it awkward to do these voiceovers when other people are around, and I don't think they can hear me, but I'm still kind of quiet. Did I ever tell you that my little brother doesn't even know I have a YouTube account, so me talking to my computer might be a little strange for him. He's not home, I think, or he's somewhere on the farm. Anyway, this is another day, and I just grabbed, or an evening judging by the light, I just grabbed some tea and I'm gonna continue. I have these very large washi tape stickers, and I find them difficult to use because they're so big. I need a sip of coffee. Give me a second. They're so big, I rarely have, and I messed it up, I rarely have a project big enough to fit it. And also, as you can see, they're kind of difficult to use because it's such a big sticker. It's kind of difficult to get it on the page neatly without wrinkling it. I don't think I managed to do it without wrinkling it, but in the end it's looking quite okay. So I'm just carefully peeling away the backing and just smoothing out the sticker as I go. It's not perfect, but it works this way. It's just like how you would apply wallpaper, I guess. I don't know, I'm just rambling. So I use that as the base, and what I love about these stickers is that they're washi tape like, see, I messed it up completely. Washi tape like stickers, so you can actually see the design, but you can still see the design of the book page in the back as well, which is kind of cool. Oh, what I completely forgot to mention, by the way, is I used Distress Oxide ink on the first pocket and on this one as well. So I just used some ink on the edges of the project to make it look very old, I don't know. And then to cover up the last strip of paper that was not covered by the sticker, I just used some pretty washi tape. And yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I can hear the dog drinking downstairs. And then this diagonal page, of course I could use the flower sticker page as the front page, but I actually kind of like this idea of using that diagonal page as the front because it's kind of different, kind of special. I need another sip. And you can create kind of a nice cover page with it, I think, so that's what I'm doing here. Yep, while you're watching me decorate, let me just ramble on about some random things again. Like I said, I'm at my parents' house for a couple days. Of course, I can't be here too long. First of all, I would miss the cats too much. And second of all, I have to get back to work. But I actually have 4 days off in a row this week, which is weird. And I don't know, I've been doing quite well with my anxiety, like it's always ups and downs, but when I have 4 days off in a row and I'm all by myself because my boyfriend usually is in Brussels for his work, I don't know, I just start to overthink everything and I've just been in my head a lot, so I thought I would take a little mini vacation, visit my parents, which is always nice, and I thought I would do some video editing because there's no distractions here. I do love being at home and I'm not usually like lonely or something. It's just, I tend to put a lot of pressure on myself when I have days off. Like I will have to clean the house, I need to do this, I need to do that. And then when I am at my parents' house or the farm or my boyfriend's house in Belgium, I don't have that pressure because it's not my house. Of course I do a lot of things, like I cooked a big pan of curry yesterday, but there's just a lot less pressure. So I think that's good for me, just a little break from my brain sometimes. My mom and I actually went to yoga this morning. I haven't been to an actual in-person yoga class in literal years. I used to go to yoga when I lived in Sydney. There was this community center that offered, like I said, I talk about random things. There was this community center that offered free yoga classes, which was lovely. I used to go there with my housemate, so I did yoga for like once a week for a couple months actually. And then apart from that, all I ever did yoga wise is watch yoga with Adriene videos online on YouTube. If you want to get into yoga, she's awesome. I did that during the COVID lockdowns and stuff like that, so I do have some experience, but an actual yoga class is something else. But I managed to follow along quite nicely. I didn't fall, I didn't make any stupid mistakes. I think I have the basics down, but that was quite nice. A really lovely start of the day, some yoga. And of course you have some tea afterwards, and they were all really nice ladies, so that was quite nice. And then tonight we're going out for dinner, probably, don't know yet. And something happened with glue here, I think. Yep. And then tomorrow I am meeting a friend, which is nice. She's here as well, visiting her mom. At least she will be tomorrow, so that's nice. We get to have lunch, I think. That's the plan, at least. But we both live in different cities. We met in high school, by the way. So we both grew up here, but we both live in different cities now. So we were very much lost as to where we had to go for lunch because we haven't been here. Like when we were here, we were visiting our parents. We're not like going out for lunch, but we found something. Let's hope it's nice. So in the background I'm of course decorating. I'm just decorating the middle panel first. I used some washi tape labels that are quite nice, and then some washi tape. When I say washi tape labels, I just mean stickers that are like quite clear and see-through, such as these. It's the same texture, the same stuff as washi tape. And then I used a tiny word. You saw a little tin with tiny words. I made all of them myself. I actually have printables up on my Patreon that you can just print. Tiny word printables, print and cut and use as often as you like. And I also made some on my typewriter, but I keep forgetting I have a typewriter. It's just tucked away. It's really nice, but it's so loud. So loud. So I used the You're a Peach. I love that font. That's like my favorite thing of making my own printables. I can adapt to whichever. That's perfect. I think Charlie, who is the person who received this mail, is actually the one who sent me that tiny booklet with the washi tape, with the clear fern illustrations. I'm like 99% certain that that was sent to me by Charlie, and then I'm using it for this mail that was going to Charlie. I thought that was perfect. I lost my train of thought. I'm just decorating away. I used some stamps in the background, by the way, because I love this paper. It's, like I said, a vintage encyclopedia. Why can I not talk today? Encyclopedia. But it's a little difficult to use because it's quite busy with the writing, but it's also still quite boring. So I had to figure out ways to decorate it without making it even busier. So I just added a ton of stamped images, which I liked, in like that green ink that I have, to make it all cohesive and nice. Little butterfly, and on some stickers, of course. I'm gone. Goodbye. Oh yeah, I was looking for writing paper, of course. I have this. I don't know what it is. I bought it a long time ago. It's like you're supposed to put it in a filofax, I think. Filofax. I don't know what it's called. Like a ring. I don't know what that is called. It has. And I'm completely rambling. Never mind. It has a purpose. I'm sorry. It has a purpose, but I just used it for my letter. I use it for letters. The lines of this paper are green, which is why I liked it. I just like simple things. Like green lines. And then it has some little decorations on it that are botanical, which is perfect. My coffee is going cold. I was making this project completely up as I went, so I decided to add another element, which was this little matchbook folder. I did videos on matchbooks before. I can link them if I remember to link them. If not, and you want to see this video, you can find them on my channel looking for matchbook mail, I think. Or you can tell me and I will find the video for you. But basically, you create like a little matchbook. You know, matchbook as in a little booklet that places like motels would tuck matches into as a promotional item. And you replicate that by creating little layered pockets. So instead of putting matches inside, of course it's going to be used for goodies, but I think this is such an adorable way to wrap up some goodies. And also this is perfect for using up those paper strips that you have left when you create an envelope with, for example, the envelope punch board. You're always left with those paper strips and I don't know how to use them, but this is a perfect solution. I also have a reel on Instagram showing you how to make this, but it's super simple. It's going kind of fast and I'm kind of out of frame, but if I slow it down, this video is going to be half an hour long, and that's very long. But yeah, it's super simple. Just paper strip, put a pocket inside, put a staple in the bottom to hold the project together, and then you tuck the flap behind the staple. It's simple as that. Yep, and I actually made mine to fit that middle pocket, so it's a pocket inside a pocket inside a project. I'm decorating it lightly, but I wanted it to be well, not blank, but multi-functional, so that you can repurpose it. But yeah, of course it has to have a botanical sticker. So that's the third project. And then I also modeled mine to fit these vintage cookie cards, and then it barely fits. It doesn't actually fit. It's not a perfect fit. I'm very upset, but it fits. It just fits. So I always call these vintage cookie cards. I think in different countries you could collect like cigarette cards, but here you had a brand called Verkade. And back in the day, they had these albums that you could fill, and then each pack of cookies would come with these cards that you could collect. And it's a really, yeah, it doesn't fit, so I'm making it bigger. And it was a really, it's a big deal now for crafters like myself, because of course they are very fun to use for crafting. I've changed my mind and I'm stapling it again. I put the staple just a little bit lower so that the cards would fit in a little bit less snug. I think it's still very tight. Such an idiot. Yeah, but it fits. So that's another great way to wrap up some goodies. Remember, help me remember that I need to put the reel I made of this. If you don't follow me on Instagram, definitely do so. But I need to put the reel that I made of this and the tutorial I made in the description. Usually when I mention certain videos or tutorials, they will always be in the description. I also always link the supplies I've used, but for this video it's going to be very difficult because it's all stuff from my stash, stuff from the thrift store. I'm using some goodies like those note pages from Your Creative Studio. I think these were from Your Creative Studio as well. I have videos unboxing them, but I can't link those because I don't know where they came from. This one as well. These are from my stash. They're from AliExpress, but I haven't shopped in AliExpress in ages and I'm kind of proud of that. So, but I will always link stuff like my cutting board and my glue and blah blah blah. So if you want to check that out, my camera that I use for filming. I'm weighing, that's my little scale. Whoa. Took me a while. That's my little scale for weighing meal to see if it still fits within a certain stamp weight. This was quite expensive to send because I made it way too big, but it was really fun to make and I hope Charlie enjoyed it. I'm just adding some random things that I had lying around. Okay, very good story. So how have you all been? I'm well. I mean, I'm anxious all the time. It's getting pretty bad. But I'm doing okay. I'm trying to do a lot of fun things and not just focus on work and anxiety. I'm trying to do things like last weekend, Gijs and I, my boyfriend, he lives in Brussels for work. And usually he comes to Breda in the weekend. But this time I actually went to Brussels for the weekend. And we did so many fun things. We went on long walks, we spent some time reading in front of the open window. He has the loveliest apartment, it's really great. We went out for the best dinner ever. We went to this place, it was so great. It was really cool. They actually grow, I should say, because they're still in business, most of the produce they use themselves on their own farm. So it's all like organic, eco-friendly and in season. And it was, all in all, just really wonderful. And the place that we went to, it's called Brut. They have a chef, and she was awarded the best female chef of Belgium of the year. So that's kind of cool, right? Like female chef, you don't see that all too often. So all in all, just a lovely place. And of course, we love food. So give me food, and my weekend is already made. Anyway, this is the finished result. This is the envelope I ended up making. I used some printables from Album Love Handmade. And then, of course, I had to put the stamps. This is all of my projects up close in some better light so that you can see what I ended up including. I really enjoyed making this project. I feel like I don't do vintage botanical often enough, that theme, even though I love it so much. It's kind of funny to see how my style has changed, because when I started crafting I did not like vintage botanical and now it's like one of my favorites. But anywho, this is the project and all of the goodies. Let me know if you enjoyed this video and let me know if you enjoyed this project and if you want to make something of your own. Don't forget to follow me here because I try to upload videos every week. I haven't been too consistent lately because of my anxiety, but you know, I try. And leave a comment down below if you want to comment. And I will talk to you all again very soon. Okay, bye!